Look, the next question is, and I'll put this to you, Minister, why would the Treasurer want to get rid of Section 11 of the RBA Banking Act that gives him the power to override the RBA? I mean, ultimately, I would have thought all independent statutory authorities should still have some sort of democratic oversight by the Treasurer of the day, and I find it hard to believe the Treasurer would have woke up one day and just said, oh, I'm suddenly going to give up my own powers to override the RBA. I suspect most people weren't even aware this section existed. So I just find it's an odd thing to do, to be wanting to take away your own powers.
So my recollection, it came up through the review of the RBA. It's a power that's never been used, and as the Treasurer and Government's view is around is strengthening the independence of the RBA, and that on balance that clause was not required.
But wouldn't you also, by strengthening the so-called independence of the RBA, noting that Michelle Bullock won't provide minutes of her meetings with the International Bank of Settlements, just as important as independence, I would have thought even more important in democracy is accountability of the independent, what's supposedly an independent central bank that talks to other central banks. Isn't oversight of these bodies very important? And we need the Treasurer to be able to have oversight of these bodies, and as well as Parliament.
Just to be clear, the Treasurer indicated that he was happy to revisit that issue as part of the negotiations that were going on around that legislation, because he did make it clear that it wasn't on, and a review panel made it clear that it wasn't on balance. It was a close-run thing, an on-balance recommendation. So, just in terms of where the Treasurer got to, as I understand it, you are right that the initial reform was in implementing the entire set of the recommendations, but he indicated an openness to look at that issue in not particularly for the issues you raised, but in the specific issues, but in broad terms, because of the inquiry that was held. You're probably part of it. Had a few former governors, for example, who said they were comfortable with that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not an elected representative, but anyway, I'll leave that as the question.
Authorised G. Rennick People First Chermside.